What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets and what they're going to have to do going into Game 2 if they want to try and even up this series going into Game 3, which is going to be a Thursday at Barclays Center. Game 1 was actually not that out of the range for the most part. I mean, it was a pretty close game until we got to the beginning of the fourth quarter. And then Philadelphia just really started to take control of the basketball game. And the Nets just didn't have any answer offensively. They didn't have any answer defensively. They didn't have any answer at all on the court during that game. The biggest problem for me, and I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Adam Costas, who was on the live stream yesterday for the Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia 76ers. The Nets tried to play too much ISO basketball. They tried to play too much ISO basketball yesterday when they don't have necessarily an ISO basketball player on their team that can be able to go out there, create his own shot, and be able to lift the offense solo by himself like they did when they had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Now, I know Mikal Bridges is slowly developing into one of those players right now, or quickly developing into one of those players, but at the same time, he's not all there yet. Spencer Dinwiddie has the ability to drive to the basket and be able to sometimes create his own shot, but he's not all the way there yet as a player to be able to do that. And then you have, some of the other guys around him, a Cam Johnson, a Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Seth Curry. These guys aren't able to create their own shot. Nicholas Claxton is more of a defensive center. And one of the biggest issues, too, is that this team got caught off guard. They were tired from all the time running up and down the court, missing shots, and then you have one guy's trailing on the defensive side, so you already had a disadvantage in terms of your defense going forward against this high-powered Philadelphia 76ers team. And their three-point defense was awful yesterday. Awful three-point defense by the Brooklyn Nets. They could not stop the Philadelphia 76ers to save their lives during this NBA playoff Game 1. I mean, they gave up 21, count them, 21 three-point shots yesterday. If you're expecting to beat the Philadelphia 76ers, you can't do that. And one of them articles that was just thrown out by Brian Lewis of the New York Post. When Philadelphia had Joel Embiid double-teamed, what did they do? They were able to dish to the outside to the open three-point shooter, and those guys started knocking him down, and they made the Nets pay on the outside. Correspondingly, when the Sixers double-teamed against Bridges, Mikal Bridges, who is obviously right now the best Brooklyn Nets offensive player on this team, who again had himself a good game yesterday. The Nets didn't have anybody else that could rise to the occasion. Now, Cam Johnson was starting to shoot the ball a little better, but he didn't have enough opportunities on the court. And Spencer Dinwiddie wasn't able to get enough going offensively either, and then the bench didn't really contribute at all in this game. For the most part. They were pretty much invisible throughout this entire time. This was a tough loss yesterday. And one of the biggest issues right now with the Brooklyn Nets, who on this basketball team is going to be able to step up offensively besides Bridges when he's being double-teamed and they're trying to take him out of the offense. Bridges is going to do as much as he can to help orchestrate and get this offense going. But at the same time, if Bridges is being double-teamed or triple-teamed at times, anybody else on this offense going to go out there and make consistent plays to make that Philadelphia 76ers defense honor them. And it's going to start opening more things up for Bridges. Is it going to be Dorian Finney-Smith? Is it going to be Nicholas Claxton? Is it going to be Royce O'Neal? Is it going to be Cam Johnson? Is it going to be Spencer Dinwiddie? Joe Harris? Seth Curry, Day'Ron Sharpe, Edmund Sumner, Yuta Watanabe, Cam Thomas. Who else on this offense right now is going to be able to create their own shot and be able to go out there and do enough to help lift this offense to get them in a position where they don't have to solely rely on Bridges going out there and carrying this offense? That's the biggest problem right now with this Nets team. The defense yesterday was not good. No way am I excusing how bad this defense was yesterday. They were pitiful. I mean, when you're giving up 121 points, your defense is not getting the job done. But at the same time, a lot of it had to do because this team was too busy, one and dones. They weren't getting rebounds. That's another problem with this team. They were not rebounding and giving the Sixers second, third, fourth chances on their offensive possessions. And also what is a big issue, the Nets did a horrible job taking care of the basketball yesterday. This team was absolutely undisciplined the entire time. 19 turnovers is not winning you any games. If you're going to turn the ball over 19 times on the road, you're not winning. And you're going to get blown out. Case in point, that's exactly what ended up happening. They turned it over 19 times and they got their doors blown off by the Sixers. Are the Nets going to be able to take care of the basketball a lot better this time than they did last game? That's the hope. But right now, this Nets team is not giving you any confidence that they're going to be able to go out there and get the enough consistent offense that's going to be able to help this team out going forward. Because that was bad. And now they were down an 0-1 hole. And who is going to be the answer on offense going into the second game besides Bridges? Because you know for a fact, each team is going to make adjustments. You know the Sixers are going to make adjustments to try to limit the amount of touches that Bridges is going to get. Because they know he is the true offensive playmaker on this Brooklyn Nets team. What adjustments is Jacques Vaughn and the Nets going to do? And I thought Jacques Vaughn didn't do such a great job yesterday with his coaching in his first playoff game for the Nets. Wasn't that good? What kind of adjustments is Vaughn going to make going into the second game? He's going to change up the lineup a little bit? He's going to call up some better plays? That's what I'm curious to see. What is going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets? How are they going to change up this offense going into Game 2? And the defense. Because now, you saw what happened in that first game, and I know the Sixers are not going to go off again for another 21 for three-point shots. I doubt that's going to happen. Not even a team that is shooting lights out is going to do it once again. But you never know. It is the playoffs. Do the Nets now go into the second game saying, you know what? Bridges, or Embiid will get his down low. But we are going to make sure nobody else in that offense is able to go off shooting the three-point shot. And offensively, Nets have to do one other thing. Start moving that basketball again. This Nets team did not move the basketball enough yesterday, in my opinion. 23 assists, in my opinion, that's not enough. They need to continue to move this basketball, get it around to your open shooters, and these guys have got to start knocking down the three. 13 for 29 is not good enough. When most of your team, a majority of the construction of your basketball team is three-point shooting. You need these guys to start hitting their threes. And a lot of these guys on this team are not defensive-minded basketball players. They're either offensive-minded or three-point shooters. So if guys like Curry, Harris, Watanabe, Sumner, Johnson, Finney-Smith, Dinwiddie even, these guys aren't hitting their shots and in their three-point shots. Some of them are pretty good on defense, but for the most part, it's a problem. What are the Nets going to do to change up their philosophy and their game plan going into Game 2? Hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. Give a sub to NYGJeffyT85. More news updates and chatter surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications on when the next video or short will be dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. You guys let me know in the comment section. Who else on this offense besides Mikal Bridges do you have confidence that they can raise their game up going into this critical game 2? What kind of adjustments are you expecting Jacques Vaughn and the Nets defense and offense to make going into this game 2 in Philadelphia at Wells Fargo Center on Monday? And do you have confidence this Nets team is going to be able to come out in game 2 with a much better and more inspired total performance to somehow pull off this victory in game 2 and bring the series back to Barclays Center tied 1-1? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take it easy and let's go Brooklyn Nets. As always, it's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.